All right, this is the second video on our proof by equivalence, so go back and watch the first one. And then we're going to look at this one. It says find the smallest positive integer a for which x squared plus a minus 2 times x plus a has real solutions. So the way that we can get started here is we can go to solve by completing the square. So this x squared plus a minus 2x plus a equals 0 is equivalent to the fact, well, I can say x squared plus, hang on, okay, a minus 2x plus a box is equal to a box minus a. So I've subtracted this over, I've added a box. The book didn't include this step, but this is how we like to complete the square in my class. So the next thing is that this becomes x plus half of this is a minus 2 over 2 squared. Well, this squared goes in the box, so that would be equal to a minus 2 over 2 squared, which is what's in the box in this box, minus a. Okay, so this statement is equivalent to that statement, which is equivalent to the previous one. And so now what we have is we need, in order for this to have a real solution, then when we take the square root, we need this part over here to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so we can say the equation has real solutions when, well, if and only if, let's say that. If and only if this part, a minus 2 over 2 squared minus a, is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so now the next thing we want to look at is we can square this out. So this would be equivalent a squared minus 4a minus 4. I lied. Plus 4 over 4 minus a has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so then the next thing that we wanted to do would be let's get a common denominator. And we know when I multiply through, I can multiply everybody by 4. And this, well, I don't want a common denominator. I'm multiplying by 4. Minus 4a, it has to be greater than or equal to 0. This would be equivalent to saying a squared minus 8a plus 4 has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, the book went ahead and they completed the square on this. So they said this would imply well, it's a squared minus 8a plus a box would be greater than or equal to negative 4 plus a box. I'm going to have to come on up to here. The next thing I have is this is equivalent to a squared, I lied, a minus 4 squared has to be greater than or equal to, well, so that means 4 squared, that means 16 goes in my box. So that has to be greater than or equal to 12. So I have a minus 4 squared has to be greater than or equal to 12. Sorry, I wrote the same thing twice. And what I would like to, what we think about here is we, when we go to take the square root of this, we need this value here squared to be bigger than 12. So that means we need values. So just a little side note here. If I'm on a number line and I wanted to say, okay, x squared is greater than or equal to 9. This is just a little side thing. So then what I know is that if I plug in values, if I plug in things bigger than positive 3 or smaller or equal to negative 3, now let's say negative 4. Negative 4 squared becomes 16, and that makes a true statement. Okay, so down here I'm doing something very similar. I either want a minus 4 to be greater than or equal to a positive root 12, or, and I should have this little thing off to the side, sorry, or a minus 4 needs to be less than or equal to a negative root 12. Because what we're doing is I picked nice pretty numbers, but what we're doing is we're staying on the outsides of this, okay? So then I have that a has to be greater than or equal to 4 plus, would you agree that this is 2 root 3? Or a has to be less than 4 minus 2 root 3. So on a number line, you can think of this as somewhere out here is, here's 4 plus 2 root 3. I'm sorry, you can't see that. And then somewhere over here would be the smaller one, 4 minus 2 root 3. And so we're doing this, and you could write that in interval notation if you felt so inclined. Okay, so, oh, but we haven't answered the question. It says find the smallest positive integer for which, okay, so it has to be positive. Well, is this, sorry, I don't even know what I've been doing. Is this 4 minus 2 root, my bad, 2 root 3. That one is, it's a decimal, but notice that the integer just smaller than that is going to be 0, which is not positive. So what we need to look at is we need to consider this one, okay, which is that 7 point whatever. So the smallest integer, smallest positive integer a for which that's true is going to be a equals 8. There it is. Okay, good luck. Go practice. These definitely require a lot of practice.